Morning, morning all. How we doing? Good to see everyone out there. Hey, Kevin, all the way from Florida. Hey, awesome to have you hanging out with us, Kevin. Hopefully our lives are useful for you. Thanks for joining us, mate. Chris, Joel, Steve, Andrew, James, Aaron, Alison, morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hempo. Hey, good to see you. Marcus, Donna, all the way from the GC. Well, looks like it might be a nice day today in the GC, Donna. I'm going to try and play some golf later on today. It's not something I do that often, but I'm going to go play golf with a friend of mine, John O'Reilly. Rolly. There you go. There you go. Well, welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Later on today, it's all about friends today for me. Friendship Friday. Going to hang out with a mate and play a bit of golf. And then I'm going to hang out with another mate and drink a bit of wine. Andy Fenton. Later on, Wealth, Wine and Wisdom. Just a little shout out for you guys if you're up for it, to make sure you join us tonight at 5 p.m. for Wealth, Wine and Wisdom also. But today, welcome to Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. If you're new, that's my name, Jason Witten. If you didn't already know, I'm sure it's somewhere when these things pop up. And Joel's at the beach already. Mate, good to see, mate. Good to see. Each day, for those who don't know or might be new, we get together, have a little coffee in the morning, kick things off, talk about what is going on out there in the world of real estate investing, the marketplace, the newspapers, some ideas, some strategies, some tips, some whatever it might be. So today, big headline in the newspaper, looking backwards, not looking forwards often. It's interesting, isn't it? Stats measure backwards, not forwards. So how do we understand stats? Maybe that's just something to talk about at another date. But listen, folks, unemployment is pretty low at the moment in Australia. And what does that mean to us as property investors? Maybe give that some thought right now. Unemployment, low unemployment. What does that mean to us as investors? Put that in the chat as we sort of warm up today. What do you think? What's a positive thing that low unemployment might have, what might be to our advantage as property investors as we go forward into this next time of interest rate increases and a little bit of uncertainty when it comes to that space. Good morning, whoever the Facebook user is. Brother, I can see you shouting out. However, I don't know who you are. Maybe because you're in one of the private groups. So there you go. Yeah, I like that. Money is circulating. More people can pay their rent and their bills. Absolutely. So, along with, let's go to this thing now. Oh, Ben, how are you, mate? There you go. More spare cash. So we've got a 48-year low in the labour market, folks, which is great news for people who want to work. Basically, 3.5%, as far as I understand the data, I've been told by a lot smarter than me, that anything below 4% basically is those people don't want to work or can't work. So I've been told. So literally everyone's got a job who wants the job, by and large, when it comes to a 3.5% unemployment rate and 48-year low, which means, dead right, you guys are onto it. More disposable income, easier to get a job, more spare cash, people have money to pay rent, people have more choice, you have to pay to top up wages to keep team and staff. Yes, you do, Luke. That is absolutely true. And this is some of the challenges and the problems that, there's this kind of, balancing act right now of what's going on, right? So certainly the pendulum is in the team or the employee's favor often, that they can ask for a little bit more money when it comes to their job. And if their employer, doesn't want to listen to that, then maybe there's another job that will pay them a little bit more. So it's a really interesting market right now. And some of that stuff is fueling some of the inflation as well, right? So, businesses have to put their prices up. You can't pay more for something and sell it at the same price, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very, very interesting. And I'm going to ask Andy Fenton a little bit about this tonight because he's much smarter than me when it comes to these knock-on, effects and issues and challenges when it comes to the world of the economy. But today I wanted to sort of touch base on what does that mean to us when it comes to the property world and the property market as we go along. Check it out. This is, pretty low down here, going back 48 years. 48-year low. All right, so let's talk about what that means to us. A few of you guys said, all right, well, what is going on for many people is that they have a job and they might end up with more dollars. They might get a pay rise, okay? What is one thing right now in the marketplace that we're concerned about as investors and borrowers right now? Tell me the one thing we're all kind of a bit cat on a hot tin roof about right now, folks. Tell me what that looks like, or tell me what that is. It's it's been talked about a fair bit, and I'm sure many of you guys will get this. All right, as we go, inflation. Yep, that's certainly out there being talked about a lot. It's another I word. Luke, interest rates. Boom, Rodney. Yep, Nigel. Okay, so what happens? So if our interest rate, let's say, at the moment, 3.5% goes to, 4%, I know, I'm going to make that a bit better, actually, a bit more, goes to 5%, on a $600,000 mortgage, just on interest alone. Politics, yeah, politics is always out there, Joel. They're certainly some interesting characters, aren't they? The pollies. For many of us, we need to keep an eye on that. But let's go. All right. So if you've got a $600,000 loan, ladies and gents, a $600,000 loan, yep, for sure, Alison. That interest rate flows into lending capacity, right? So today I wanted to talk about what this might look like. And let's have a bit of a look at this. So if you've got a $600,000 loan and you have a 3.5% interest rate, right, then that's $21,000, right? So let's just say this is at home, and I'm just going to do the interest today. You can do P&I as well, but let's have a look at that. Right, now, if you have a $600,000 loan and your interest rate is 5%, that's $30,000. Cool. So the difference is $9,000. Now, let's say the average wage out there plus the tax to end up with a net $9,000. Let's times that by 1.3, give it 30%. Hang on, $9,000. Oh. $9,000 times that by 1.3 is $11,700. All right, so everyone following along here? What I'm trying to show is if the interest rates go up 1.5%, so let's go back here. If the interest rates go up 1.5%, so 3.5 to 5%, so it increases 1.5%, over a period of time, what dollar amount in your salary, your income, depending on your tax rate, would you need to, have an increase in your wage or salary to kind of go, who cares? Who cares? So what? And this is the rough number, right? So now it's not perfect. I grant you that, and some of the some of the mortgage brokers out there would say, well, it's not exactly like that. You know, there's cost of living cash calculations. There's things you've got to take into consideration for servicing. There's the bank, blah, blah, blah. And I get that. I'm not trying to say it's as simple as this. However, the net cash result for you as a borrower to take care of it, and it's not going to be an issue interest-wise. This is interest only, by the way, team. So you could do the same for principal interest if you want to. Pull up a calculator. Is $11,700. Gross, minus the tax at 30%, means $9,000 net. $9,000 net. Now, tell me in the chat, for some of you, you know, a $10,000 to $15,000 pay rise, would that be out of the question right now for you to go and talk to your employer about if that's possible? And probably the answer is no. Like right now, you know, that's what is probably on the radar for a lot of businesses, a lot of people, a lot of people who borrow. The question is, where does the buck stop? Right, folks, where does the buck stop? Let me ask you that question. Need to get a promotion? Yeah, Adrian. You know, it's floating around, and you know, this is kind of like my conversation today is, yes, interest rates will rise to a certain amount. Okay, happy Friday, James, to you too, mate. Interest rates rise, yes, but where does the buck stop, folks? Tell me right now, if interest rate rises and you've got to pay more on your loan for dollars, what are the two ways that you can pass on that expense? There's actually three ways that expense gets passed on, by the way. Pass on, let's say you can pass it on or hedge or offset. What are the three ways you can offset that? We just talked about one right now to offset that and chuck that in. Boom. We've got it there. Right. Good, James. Perfect. You can put your rents up, folks. You can put your rents up. You can get a pay rise to offset your mortgage. You're right. And then what's the third one? Wages go up, Joel. Absolutely. There's a third one, which is kind of nice. We're kind of all in this together. Let's face it. All right. You get more tax back, folks. When your expenses go up, you actually get to claim more tax back. There we go. Tax refund. Boom. Sharon, you're on it. Woohoo. There you go. Good work, Alison. Yeah, that's perfect. And Alison, make sure you reach out to your finance team and get a bit of a rough calculation. Get out and have a look at that. For sure, Sharon, diversify your income. Find maybe a side hustle, some other things to offset it. So here's the drill, right? This is not one-dimensional, ladies and gents, this kind of conversation when it comes to, the interest rates have gone up and that's it. The world's over. Well, that is not true because that expense at some point will be passed on. It gets passed on. It gets pushed through. It goes through the system to the end user, unfortunately. And this is the problem. Like, I don't know, it's a problem. It's just the way it is, ladies and gents. It's just the way it is that if something goes up, businesses, governments, banks, they all work out how to pass that through to the end user, end consumer in one way, shape or form, or businesses go out of business, unfortunately, so they've got to put their prices up because they have to pay higher salaries. They have to pay someone more to keep them, and they want to do that because they're good people. And they have to put their prices up, and you as the consumer have to pay more at the other end. The interest rates are going to go up, and over the next 2 years, rents are going to rise pretty significantly, and the renter has to pay, And now it's a bit of a double bind as well, right? So the interest rates going up is going to stop. It's going to restrict owner-occupiers and first home buyers and those people who were exiting the rental market in the last little while and buying their own homes. It's going to restrict those first home buyers, unfortunately. So there you go. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the knock-on effect of that today. You know, we have our unemployment rate at 48-year lows, folks. 48-year lows. And what that means to us as property investors, certainly in one way, shape, or form, you know, our tenants can pay a little bit more rent, which is fine. Happy with that. Yeah, Luke, and I like that too. You can change the property use, change it to short-term Airbnb. I'm a big fan of that. Changing the use of your property. It's called the highest and best use. Sam talks about it all the time. So there you go. Hopefully that was useful today. Just thought we would talk that one through because sometimes, you know, it's all about the negative thing. It's all about, oh, the interest rates went up. And we're like, hang on. Other things are going to sort of, there's the balancing act. And it's never linear, but as property investors, we must understand it's kind of this 6 to 18 month process of things moving through the pipeline when it comes to this stuff. All right, there you go, folks. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. Done and dusted for the day. You guys be awesome and well. Join me tonight and Andy Fenton. Join me and Andy Fenton where we'll talk about inflation and other things tonight when it comes to the world of investing, the world of business, the world of real estate. We're going to sort of have a bit of a deep dive. We're back with the Wealth, Wine and Wisdoms on Friday nights. Anyway, folks, there you go. You guys be awesome. See you tonight if you're coming. If I don't see you tonight, see you next week, Monday, around about 8:10. We do it each day. Thanks, team. Have a good weekend.